Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. Carter's self-centered behavior is disgusting. According to spoilers on The Bold and the Beautiful, Carter's selfishness is abhorrent. Many people think that the attractive young man's recent engagement to Hope Logan, Annika Noel, has more to do with him than with her. Carter's self-centered behavior is disgusting. Ultimately, now is not the ideal time to consider weddings and engagements. Brain cancer affects Liam Spencer. Hope's children's father and the guy she foolishly loved for 50 years is going to pass away, and Carter believed that this was the ideal moment. Don't forget to check out our YNR spoilers for next week, here. Did Carter fail to consider this? And did he truly believe Hope would accept? As our readers are aware, there was a lot of discussion about the issue on the internet. I don't understand why Carter is proposing to Hope at a time like this when Hope has a lot of things to deal with, some commenters have even said. Read this, B&B spoilers, Elektra isn't giving up, Luna and Elektra argue again. And why is Carter asking Hope to marry him? Although they have been friends and co-workers for years, they have never even gone on a date. Carter's goal is to make his wife hopeful. Carter believes he's on The Bachelor and Hope was his final choice, tweeted another show fan. The proposal must take place when Daphne arrived and was brought to the limousine. Quinn should use her key to let herself in after he pops the question. Additionally, this statement was made, this is causing Hope's face to change each time Thomas pops the question to her. It's far too early for Carter to pop the question, but I hope she accepts for his sake. They spent more time together, and he didn't even try to pop the question to her aunt. The sick addiction of Carter was exposed. Nobody ever claimed that he was flawless. Naturally, Carter Walton from The Bold and the Beautiful is the subject of our conversation. For all the information you require, continue reading below. This is because it appears that he has a somewhat sick addiction that is harming both himself and the ladies he falls for in this made-up town of Los Angeles. The sick addiction of Carter was exposed. That's because he consistently pops the question to the woman he's currently crushing on. He did it with Quinn Forrester, Zoe Buckingham, and now Hope Logan. The dude nearly seems desperate to be married. The internet had a lot to say about it, as our readers can imagine. This character is the biggest dud, some commenters have even said. The authors still haven't convinced me to invest in this jerk, even after he has been on the show for 10 years. This is not an attempt to disparage the performer. He is undoubtedly a talented actor. Regretfully, the combination of Carter's writing and the actor's performance has been my go-to remedy for severe sleeplessness. It's surprising that he didn't propose to Katie when they were together, a different fan commented. Carter need to simply change teams at this point if he doesn't get married this time. What will happen to Carter next? Every relationship he's ever had has been super rushed and lacking chemistry except Quinn, which was rushed but at least they were hot, was another comment that was made. The relationship between Hope and Carter seems to be improving, in my opinion. They play more and are more laid back. It appears that the two actors genuinely love their roles together. What is the startling twist when Hope abandons Carter at the altar? Updates and spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful hint that Carter Walton is now happily engaged. We're going to talk about the possibility that Hope would make the startling choice to leave Carter at the altar, but could Carter be bound for heartbreak? There's something odd about this hasty reunion and forgiveness. It doesn't appear to me that Carter and Hope's hasty engagement, forgiveness, and reunion mark the start of a happily ever after. To be honest, it feels strange and forced. Who can determine if that's because of bad writing or something else going wrong? Hope told Carter that he misunderstood what she had said to Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton. Keep in mind that Carter thought Hope was telling him that she loved him and wanted to be with Liam. That sounds a lot like what we heard Hope say, but she emphasized that she didn't want to waste time away from Carter because of Liam's brain cancer crisis. She doesn't want a romantic relationship with her ex-husband, but she does care about him. Hope was too quick to pardon Carter for what she heard with Daphne Rose? Carter promised Hope he would stay faithful and said it was pointless, despite Hope hearing Carter and Daphne Rose, Muriel Hilaire, and knowing he had kissed her. He pledged to support Hope through Liam's difficult period and to never look at another woman. Hope had just begun to forgive Carter after he had won her back and then chose to pop the question 5 minutes later when he stunned her by showing her a ring. How, then, did Carter have a diamond ring in a box at that time? Was it an old ring, or was he already preparing to pop the question to Hope? Was it Paris Buckingham's, diamond white, or Maya Avant's, Carla Mosley, repurposed ring? It most certainly wasn't Zoe Buckingham's, Kiara Barnes. Should we be shocked that Hope was stunned? Hope initially appeared surprised, and it appeared too soon for her. She told Carter she needed to exercise caution, and he recognized that she wasn't prepared, giving the impression that she would say no. Though it was difficult, Carter was able to convince her, and after much prodding, Hope finally accepted Carter's suggestion. Although I think Hope has feelings for Carter, the proposal was unexpected and happened shortly after their reunion, and it has also seriously damaged Hope's faith in him. Hope hesitated a little, but in the end she agreed. No matter who made the proposal, Carter, Thomas Forrester, Matthew Atkinson, or anyone else, it was rare for her to accept it so quickly, but that's the approach they're adopting with B&B. Examining the responses, Ridge, Steffi, and Brooke address Hope and Carter's significant announcement. Hope and Carter are now quite happy. They went to the company right away, and Hope showed off the ring that Carter had given her at Forrester Creations. She informed Ridge Forrester, Steffi Forrester, and Brooke Logan of their engagement. Brooke is naturally overjoyed for them both. Hope's mother thinks Carter is the one for her and will make her happy. Ridge and Steffi looked at one another as they received the news, but Steffi wants to be happy for Hope, and it appears like she does to some extent. Steffi and Ridge are a little uneasy about their immediate reunion. Both Ridge and Steffi seem a little nervous about Hope and Carter getting back together. They are concerned about that alone, not to mention the engagement, because they stole the company of Steffi, Ridge, and Eric Forrester, John McCook, when they were together. To her credit, Steffi is sincerely trying to help Hope by honoring her pledge to Liam that she would get along with his other baby mama. Ridge is being kind as well, admitting that he wants Hope to be content. Since Carter is his best buddy, Ridge naturally wants him to be happy as well, thus things are going great right now. Carter has a poor record of engagements. Will he ever truly say that I do? We have to wonder how long this will go on. Hope seems content, but it seems like she was compelled to agree. Maybe that wasn't Carter's purpose, but who can tell? He has a reputation for making several unsuccessful marriage proposals. He had 3 engagements but no wife, not yet, perhaps never. He does have good intentions and cares for Hope, but let's not forget his previous engagement on the CBS serial opera. This time, Carter was the one who left. Quinn Fuller, Rena Sofer, showed up right as Carter was ready to make his vows to Paris, and that one too broke down at the altar. Quinn declared her love for him and persuaded him to leave his spouse, which he did. However, Carter returned a few months later without Quinn. Why was it so easy for Hope to say yes? If Hope chooses to leave Carter at the altar, it would be a touch of karma to go with the wedding cake, given what has transpired at Carter's previous attempted marriages. Let's take a moment to talk about why Hope accepted Carter's proposal. Liam has expressed his desire for her to get back together with Carter on several occasions. He was only giving Tanner Novlan's character John Finn Finnegan an explanation for his persistence. Liam wants to make sure that each of his ex-partners gets a suitable partner to assist in raising his girls because he is dying. Hope has been mentally reciting Liam's sentiment. Hope might be worried that Carter will have the same fate as Thomas. Remember how Hope departed in a rage and traveled overseas after rejecting a proposal from Thomas Forrester the previous time? That was the end of it. Hope may therefore be reluctant to lose Carter in the same way that she did Thomas. She also thought Carter would be a fantastic stepfather to Beth Spencer, Jordan Grace, but she didn't want to tell Carter that. In addition to Liam's pressure and the consequences of saying no, it appeared like he was exerting pressure on her. That put her under some pressure, which made her feel a little scared, but just because she said yes doesn't guarantee Hope would say I do in the end. Not at the end. There are some reasons why a marriage to Carter might not work out. It appears that Liam will initially have chemotherapy and radiation therapy. Bridget Forrester will be coming shortly and may assist with Liam's care. Hope will undoubtedly be impacted if he recovers. She may accept her love for Liam and desire to be with him now that he is not in danger of dying. Then the worries about Daphne might come back, the nose problem might not be entirely fixed, and Carter was tempted. Finally, if Liam lives, I think Deacon Sharp will push Hope to go back to her ex-husband since he does not want her with Carter. Even Quinn, who came back for him, left him before everything was done, so Carter never ends up with the girl in the end. Wedding disruptor? Carter and Hope might arrange the perfect wedding, and Hope might even make it to the altar, but the show might give it a karmic twist. Like Carter did to Paris, they might have Liam interrupt the ceremony and ask Hope to choose him, leaving Carter devastated on his wedding day. Carter would be devastated if Hope chose to depart on their special day. It appears dubious that Hope is dedicated to a long-term relationship with Carter, regardless of whether it occurs before, during, or after the wedding. She might decide not to marry him and possibly end their relationship out of spite, but there are no indications that they will have a happy ending. Hope leaves Carter at the altar. What's next? Carter Walton and Hope Logan are blissfully happy and formally engaged on Bold and the Beautiful, but is Carter doomed to heartbreak? We will discuss the potential for Hope to leave Carter at the altar. I don't know about the rest of you, but this instant reunion, forgiveness, and engagement with Carter and Hope doesn't seem like the beginning of a happy ending to me. To be honest, it seems strange and forced. I'm not sure if that's due to strange writing or because things are going to go wrong. Hope informed Carter that he had misinterpreted what she had said to Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton. Recall that Carter believed Hope was expressing her love for him and desire to be with Liam. That certainly seems like what we heard Hope say, but she went on to state that she cares about her ex-husband but doesn't want to be with him because of Liam's brain cancer issue, which caused her don't want to waste time away from Carter. Bold and the Beautiful, will things turn out the way Hope dumps Carter at the altar? Soap dirt. Carter pledged to be faithful and claimed it didn't matter if Hope overheard him and Daphne Rose and knew he had kissed the other lady. He promised to assist Hope during Liam's agony and to never gaze at another woman. Inside Hope and Carter's unexpected engagement on B&B. After Hope returned, Carter made the decision to pop the question 5 minutes later. Carter shocked Hope by pulling out this ring after she had just begun to forgive him. How, therefore, did Carter discover a diamond ring in a box at that precise moment? Is this a leftover, or was he already preparing to pop the question to Hope? Is the ring recycled? It could have belonged to Paris Buckingham or Maya Avant. Their rings aren't really something I recall. I am aware that this is not the ring he gave Zoe Buckingham because that one was incredibly large and ostentatious. Hope Logan and Carter Walton are both bold and beautiful. Hope's face was initially filled with shock, and she may have thought it was too soon. She advised Carter to use caution, and he was aware that Hope wasn't prepared, and it appeared as though she would decline. Although it was a difficult sell, Carter eventually persuaded her to do it. Following a great deal of pressure, Hope eventually agreed to Carter. I believe Hope loves Carter, of course, but her faith in him has been completely shattered. Furthermore, the proposal was unexpected and came so soon after their reunion. Hope was a little apprehensive, but she ultimately said yes. However, it was somewhat uncharacteristic of Elizabeth to accept such a hasty proposal, whether it was from Carter, Thomas Forrester, played by Matthew Atkinson, or anybody else. But on B&B, that's what they're doing. Ridge, Steffi, and Brooke respond to the news of Hope and Carter's engagement. Hope and Carter are both quite pleased right now. They hurried to the business, and Hope didn't spend any time entering Forrester Creations before displaying the gem that Carter had given her. She told Ridge Forrester, Torsten Kay, Steffi Forrester, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, and Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, they were engaged. Naturally, Brooke is thrilled for them both. Hope's mother believes that Hope will be happy with Carter, who is her destiny. Steffi wants to be pleased for Hope, and I believe she is, but Ridge and Steffi looked at the news together. Regarding Hope and Carter's reunion, Ridge and Steffi both appear a little anxious. That alone, not to mention the engagement, which undoubtedly worries them because they took the business from Steffi, Ridge, and Eric Forrester, John McCook, while they were together. Steffi deserves praise for her sincere efforts on Hope's behalf. In addition to being kind, Ridge acknowledged that he wants Hope to be content. Since Carter is his best buddy, Ridge naturally wants him to be happy. Thus, everything is going well at the moment. Carter's history of engagement, will he ever say I do? However, I must question how long it will last. Despite her apparent joy, Hope seems to have felt under pressure to say yes. Carter might not have meant that, but who can say? He is a persistent proposer who never makes it all the way to me. No wife, 3 engagements. Not quite yet. Never. Indeed, he has the finest of intentions and loves Hope. However, do you recall his most recent appearance on Bold and the Beautiful? At the altar, too, that one exploded. But the ditching was done by Carter. As you may remember, Carter was just professing his vows to Paris when Quinn Fuller, Rena Sofer, appeared. Carter walked away from his bride after Quinn declared her love for him. For that reason alone, I must declare that Hope's abandonment of Carter at the altar is a small act of karma to go along with the wedding cake. Hope Logan, Annika Noel, and Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, in Bold and the Beautiful. Hope Logan and Carter Walton are both bold and beautiful. Examining Hope's choice to wed Carter. Let's take a moment to briefly examine why Hope specifically accepted Carter's proposal. Liam has repeatedly expressed his desire for Hope to reunite with Carter. Additionally, Liam just gave Finn, Tanner Novlin, an explanation of why he is pressing it. Liam wants to ensure that every one of his ex-partners has a decent man in their lives to assist in raising his daughters because he is dying. And Hope had heard Liam's words reverberating in her mind. If you recall, Hope departed the country in a fit of rage the last time he rejected a proposition, Thomas's, and that was the last time he did so. Hope might not want to take the chance of losing Carter the way she did Thomas. Naturally, Carter would make a fantastic stepfather to Beth. Nevertheless, Hope did not want to respond to Carter with yes. Rather, it seemed to me that he put pressure on her, and that pressure was followed by Liam's pressure and the repercussions of refusing. She was feeling a little frightened by the strain. However, Hope won't say I do just because you said yes. Not at the very end. Reasons why Hope on Bold and the Beautiful might not wed Carter. First, it appears that Liam will follow the radiation and chemotherapy treatment. We are aware that Bridget Forrester, played by Ashley Jones, will return shortly and could be a member of Liam's therapy team. And things will be different for Hope if he gets better. That is simply a fact. She might come to the realization that she still loves Liam and wants to spend time with him now that he is not facing execution. Secondly, the uncertainties around Daphne could resurface. Carter was quite tempted, and I'm not sure if the nose is gone forever. Third, Hope and Carter are not what Deacon Sharp, Sean Cannon, wants. Additionally, I anticipate that Deacon would pressure her to see her ex-husband if Liam survives. Furthermore, from the standpoint of Bold and the Beautiful, Carter never wins the girl in the end. Before everything was said and done, even Quinn, who returned for him, left him. On B&B, karma? The potential for an interrupted Hope and Carter wedding. Therefore, Hope might decide not to marry Carter. Hope might make it all the way to the altar on the ideal wedding day they envisage. It would come full circle like what Carter did to Paris if Bold truly wanted to do something karmic, you know, like have Liam interrupt the wedding and ask Hope to pick him. He could be devastated on his wedding day. Carter would be horrified if Hope failed to show up on their special day. Therefore, I don't think Hope and Carter will be together for the long haul, regardless of what occurs before, during, or after the wedding. Furthermore, I don't believe she will actually be married to Carter. Although I don't believe she will intentionally discard him, I also don't think Hope and him will have a happy ending. Fans are certain that Daphne will become pregnant again. The crazy theory that's making B&B watchers talk. Alright, I must relate what has been dominating my timeline for the past week. Fans firmly believe that Daphne Rose will return to Los Angeles with a baby bump, but really? It makes more sense the more I consider it. The theory that got it all started. This is what everyone is talking about. Do you recall that poignant evening when Carter Walton heard Hope Logan express her desire for a future with Liam Spencer? Isn't Carter devastated? Furthermore, who was there to console him? Daphne. She entered his loft. They had an in-depth discussion. "I'm here for you, now and always," she assured him, and then, luckily, the cameras cut to black. Fans' theories regarding what transpired following the fade-out are now raging. The reasons fans believe they hooked up. As you can see, there was no genuine physical interaction between Carter and Daphne in the show. But this is a soap opera, come on. Has a fade to black during a tense moment ever indicated that they were merely playing Scrabble? They absolutely had sex in an unshown scene, as one ex-fan phrased it so eloquently. And really? Stranger things have happened on this program, considering how vulnerable Carter was and how helpful Daphne was. Following the May 23 program, the rumors became much more strong. Remember when Daphne said Carter farewell and forewarned him that Hope would harm him once more? Typical farewell, huh? False. But that scene in the airplane. This is the point at which the hypothesis truly takes flight. We grabbed this impromptu picture of Daphne on the plane after she departed for France. Simply sitting there. Reflecting. As she gazed out the window, the camera lingered on her face. Why would you show us that? Why? It's clear foreshadowing, according to fans. There was no reason to show us the nose on the airplane thinking about Carter. The farewell to Steffi in the office would have been sufficient, one fan wrote in a tweet. They have a point, too. Unless it means anything, when does BNB waste valuable airtime on someone gazing out an airplane window? The baby hints continue to emerge. The main factor supporting this notion is that Carter is constantly talking about wanting a family. In recent episodes, the man has made several references to it. He has expressed a desire to start a family, be prepared to become a father, and create something tangible. All these promises about being together and committed just means Daphne will be back, wrote one ardent fan. Given how strongly they are pressuring these two to commit, they are most likely pregnant or something. The wedding bombshell theory. It becomes quite juicy at this point. According to a number of admirers, Daphne will make her triumphant comeback at the most inconvenient time, Carter and Hope's wedding. Is it possible? As Hope was about to say I do in her wedding gown, the doors abruptly opened, revealing Daphne with a noticeable baby bump. Daphne will be returning, along with a baby bump, on Carter and Hope's wedding day for a wedding bombshell, one fan even wrote out. This show just adores a good wedding disruption. The real reasons this theory makes sense. Alright, let me put on my detective hat for a moment. Fans may be onto something for the following reasons. The timing: when Carter believed Hope had chosen Liam, he was devastated. The chemistry: let's face it, there were sparks between Carter and Daphne. When something sultry occurs off-screen, the classic soap opera fades out. The scene in the airplane: really, why not show this? Carter is essentially pleading with the cosmos for a child in his baby talk. Also, BNB absolutely adores this type of drama. Hope thinks everything is great once she finally finds her man, but then she unexpectedly finds out she is pregnant. The opinions of the skeptics. Now, this theory isn't widely accepted. Some supporters believe we're exaggerating the situation. One spectator speculated that she might have been merely considering what might have been. Others draw attention to the fact that Daphne was brought in expressly to separate Carter and Hope, and she left when it failed. The narrative is over. Where's the pleasure in that, though? The implications for Hope. Can we discuss how harsh this would be for Hope if this notion comes to pass, and that's a big if? Due to children, the poor mother previously had to share Liam with Steffi. Perhaps she will now have to deal with Carter in the same way? The similarities would be disastrous. And since they are the show's creators, they would capitalize on every bit of that drama. How I interpret the theory. You see, I've watched enough soap operas to know that no hypothesis is too crazy. We've witnessed malevolent twins, baby exchanges, individuals rising from the grave, and more. An off-screen encounter that resulted in a secret pregnancy? It is essentially the fundamentals of soap opera. I think the show did something good because fans are this involved in the theory. Every sight, every glance, and every arbitrary airplane shot is being examined by them. Will Daphne genuinely become pregnant again? Who knows? However, the fact that so many people believe it is happening indicates that the writers did a superb job sowing those seeds. How do you feel? Which are you, team it's just fan fiction or team pregnancy theory? I'm dying to know. If this occurs, the drama will be epic, therefore I'm personally stockpiling popcorn. Can you picture Carter's expression? Hope's response? Perhaps Steffi is grinning in the background because her scheme has finally succeeded. The allure of soap opera theories is that they amuse us even if we are mistaken. And the show usually manages to surprise us even when we're correct. So, fans of B&B, keep up the theories. Your wild supposition has added to the enjoyment of watching these episodes, regardless of whether Daphne returns with a kid or not.